Okay, so I'm Charlia Sanchez. I'm the Member Services Coordinator for the Myositis Association. Welcome to Reno. Welcome to the conference. I'm glad all of you came to this session. We want to get started, finally, and we're going to have the mic go around to do 30-second introductions. I want you to say your name, what kit you're representing, or your city and state if you're not yet a leader. And if you want to just kind of specify if you are a current kit leader or someone that's interested in leading a kit, or just what brings you to the session. But let's try to make it pretty brief if we can. So we're going to start with Marianne, and then we're going to go down and around.
Good morning, I'm Marianne Moyer. I'm on the board of the Myositis Association, and I am a kit leader in Southwest Florida. Our group formed in 2007 after I attended the 2006 conference where we found out that there wasn't a kit in our group, and two ladies and I met here at this conference. We had no idea what a kit was all about, but we started talking over coffee, and the next thing we knew, we had a meeting with 3 whole people show up. We're now at 140.
Hi, my name's Joe Sanchez. I'm from the Dallas market. I'm here to learn how I can support my kit leader.
I'm Steve Gunderson from Kansas City. I'm here with my wife, Susan, who currently is a kit leader for the Kansas City area.
Hi, so I am Susan McLaughlin, and I've just recently taken over the kit leadership from Kathy Good, so look forward to hearing, getting some good ideas from everybody.
I'm Tom Stone, my wife Judy. We're from Kingman, Arizona. I have IBM, had it since 2007. We're not really members of kits yet, but we just want to find out more about it.
I'm Sue McIntosh. I'm from Reno, and I'm just interested in it. I don't belong to a kit membership yet.
I'm Darlene Duenwald. I'm from Idaho, and I'm fairly new to this condition. This year I found out was diagnosed, so I'm here to get all the information I can.
Hi, I'm Ethel Chang. I'm from Florida, and I'm PM and in a kit in Port St. Lucie.
Hi, I'm Katie Wyrock. I'm from New York City Kit. I'm one of the kit leaders there. We have, I guess we have about 5 now. We are a very big group. It meets out of the hospital for special surgery. And we're looking to try and put together some alternative groups as well, in addition to our New York once-a-month meetings.
Hi, I'm Ron Wyrock, husband of Katie, here, kit leader in New York, and I'm here to learn how to support that kit and its operations a little bit better than I have been able to so far.
Good morning. I'm Gail Camphouse. I'm here with my husband, Orville. I'm from the Wisconsin Kit Group. I'm just the assistant to our leader, so I'm here in his place.
I'm Nancy Harbor. My husband and I facilitated 2 support groups in San Diego for about 10 years. After he died, I stayed with the group, and the individual who facilitates it now wasn't able to come. Occasionally, I'll cover for her if she's not able to make the meetings.
I'm Donna Quay. My husband's in the same support group as Nancy.
Hi, I'm Phyllis Lowinger from New York City, and we have a kit group that's hospital-based, which has monthly meetings, and we're looking to form other alternatives.
Hi, I'm Charles Mercer. I'm here with my partner, and I believe we belong to a kit group in Riverside County, and we're from Palm Springs.
Hi, my name is Nicole Bolger. My husband Mo and I run the Colorado Kit Group, and we also try to do online support. So if anybody is having a hard time starting a kit group, we would love to help mentor. We also love learning from the bigger kit groups, so we're here for both those reasons. And if anyone wants to join, even if you don't live in Colorado, you can.
Good morning. I'm Bill Simmerl. I co-lead the KIT group in the Northern Illinois region, and I am afflicted with polymyositis and lupus and a couple other things which I won't mention, but and I've been I was diagnosed about 10 years ago, so and I am willing to talk to and help any of you who need assistance in running your KIT groups. We've had a long-standing group of about 20 years, and we've been active on and off in fundraising and so on, but my main focus for the group is to support the individuals in our group. So, thank you.
I'm Don Parks, and I coordinate the KIT group of North Texas, which includes the Dallas area, and actually we have folks who drive we draw from about a 200-mile radius, meeting in Dallas 3 times a year. We've been doing this for 2.5 years, my wife Sandy and I, and it is a joy, and indeed. And we look to learn so much from you all and your sharing.
Hello, I'm Stanley Prather from Odessa, Texas. I have the Northwest Texas group and all the whole state of New Mexico KIT group. So, yeah, I have dermatomyositis.
Hi, I'm Marilyn McGrath. I have dermatomyositis. I do not belong to a KIT group. However, we live in upstate New York, right outside of Albany, and there are no groups in our area. We're about 3 hours from New York City, so we're very interested in finding out some information about maybe, support groups in our area.
Hi, I'm Kitty Trejo. I'm one of the co-leaders of Northern California KIT group. We meet twice a year. I have polymyositis, diagnosed in 1998, and my co-leader is right behind me, and I'm going to give the microphone to him. He's the star. He's been with the group a lot longer, and I was just realizing I'm not actually sure when our group formed, so maybe he knows the history.
I'm Rich Stevenson. I co-lead with Kitty, Northern California's KIT group, and it was founded back, well, the founder knew Betty Curry, so it was a long time ago.
I'm Marty Wright, and I'm a jack of all trades. I support both of these people and I do the website for Northern California Support Group.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Nestor from Wichita, Kansas, and this is my husband Bill. This is our 4th year coming, and a gentleman and I started a support group starting our 3rd year. Jerry's not able to travel anymore, and so he is amazing with the internet, and so if you ever want to get on a really good website for the thing I'm here, I want to know how you guys spread the word in your area. I've got a touch of one of our television stations because they do a noon little dealie. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but I'm waiting to get back because I know Jerry and I want to do something really big. What is it, the 18th or whatever our week is. Yeah, anyway, but I need to know what you guys have done to spread the word.
We formed our KIT group in Wichita because the nearest one to us at that time was in Kansas City, which is a 2.5 to 3 hour drive from Wichita, using the turnpike if you drive 75. But anyway, that was the main reason that we formed it, and we have persons even coming from Oklahoma to come up because it's closer for them than any other group, and it's the only group in our area. So we're glad to have it formed and active in Wichita.
Hi, I'm Shauna Nielsen. I'm from Wine Country, California, and I'm part of Kitty's group. And I have a group of women that we support online and get together for dinner because the meetings are too far away for us. So I'm interested in more information.
Hi, I'm April, and I don't have a KIT group. I live in Austin, Texas, and I'm just looking to maybe start one. I'm not sure. because I think the closest one is San Antonio, but I haven't seen if it's active or not, but I'm just hoping to see what I can find out.
Trying to run anybody over. I'm Dave Quay. I'm also from the San Diego Kit Group, but the area that it serves is really large, and so I'm trying to start a second Kit Group a little bit northern in the area where we live and where some of our other members live, where it's a little too far for them to go all the way to San Diego. So just trying to get a handle on getting a new Kit Group started.
My name is Mark Cohen. From the Palm Springs area. We don't have our own group there, but we do go to Riverside Redlands once a month for a small group.
Hello, I'm John Moser from Denver, Colorado. Before moving to Denver 2 years ago, I was a co-leader of the Kit Group in Western Pennsylvania, and now I'm hoping to assist Nicole and Mo with the Colorado Kit Group.
Hi, I'm Sherry Newbanks here with my husband Larry from Gillette, Wyoming. And I've had dermatomyositis with the ILD for over 11 years, and I'm here to learn.
Hi, I'm Fred Curlin from Pennsylvania, and this is my wife Tracy. She's my supporter, and I'm just here to learn also. Thank you.
I'm Jan Schuler from southeastern Indiana. Been involved with the organization of Myositis and its previous organizations for 20-some years. The Indiana group was a small group, and when the leader became quite ill, it just sort of fell apart. So I've been attending the one in Ohio occasionally, but I'm my husband was the one who had the myositis, inclusion body myositis. But I'm interested to see how we can maybe reactivate a better contact other than by phone or occasional card to the members in Indiana.
Hi, my name is Malati. It rhymes with quality. I won't even invite you to try to learn my last name. We're from the state of Hawaii, and at this moment, to my knowledge, there is no Kit Group, and there's the challenges of all the islands are far away from each other, and so I'm looking at using technology like Google Hangouts or multiple Skypes to pull something together so we can all meet online. So this is my husband John, who graciously came with me so he could help me open bottles.
Hello, my name is Dale Scott. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I am a Kit leader of Eastern Pennsylvania area. I have polymyositis with ILD, and I'm looking for more ways to grow my Kit.
I'm Carla Stevenson, and I help support Kitty and Marty and Rich in their Kit group in Northern California.
Good morning. I'm Sharon Brown, and I'm in the active Army. And last year in November, I got really sick and got diagnosed in January through the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville. Cheryl Miller emailed me from Georgia, because I live in Fort Stewart, and they have a group, but it's 4 hours away by Atlanta where they have the group at. But I have a good support group, so we're just really here to try to learn. My sister will be coming in today, and then I have two of my best friends, Sharon Harris with me and Joni Rainey, that helped me through my journey, and I'm still trying to get better. I had Roxicam in June, and so right now I'm considered to be in remission a little bit. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to meeting everybody and learning as much as I can. I have dermatomyositis. I'm
I'm Debbie Rice, and I'm from Beaverton, Oregon, and I have dermatomyositis, and am looking forward to, like so many others, looking at more technology because, like everybody else, we're really, our members are spread out and travel's difficult. So our group's been together for 2 years, and so we're seeing that we really need probably to look at more technology.
I'm Bob Goldberg. I'm the executive director of the association, and just want to thank everybody for coming out today. Support is one of the most critical functions that TMA can provide, and I know Charlia and Marianne have a lot to say. And for those who don't have all their questions answered here, absolutely reach out to Charlia or myself. There'll be other board members who you'll meet during the week, and they also can help you, but just wanted to thank everybody for being here. So turn it over to Charlia or Marianne.
Just a quick announcement. By the way, this would be a good time to mute your phones. If you noticed in the back, we have some technicians who are filming this session. We don't want that to stifle anyone. So if you have any concern at all that either what you're about to say or anything, you have the option of saying, edit me out. And all you have to do right now is raise your hand and let us know that you're not comfortable with having your face or your words on the video. We're doing this so that we can put clips of it on the website so KIT leaders or potential leaders like yourself can go and see the kinds of questions that get asked and how we support one another. So if you have a concern, please don't hesitate right now to raise your hand. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay, so thank you everyone for introducing yourself. I'm glad that we had such an excellent turnout and that everyone's here and ready to learn more about support groups or to find out how they can improve their support group, if not build one in their community. To get started, I did want to make sure that the KIT leader or that the KIT session sign up was going around. So I'm not sure if everyone had a chance to sign that, just so we know who's here, but it's been going around. So once it gets to the end, if you haven't had a chance to sign it, just make sure that it gets to you so we can know that you were here in the future. So to begin, I want to kind of go over the state of support and the state of the KIT community. Since the last conference, which I know some of you attended, we've had a few new groups formed. So since October 2013, we've had a new group formed in North Carolina, and they've been quite active, meeting monthly. We've had another group that's been kind of revived in Southeast Florida. I know that Ethel's a part of that group in Port St. Lucie. We've had the Northwest KIT also be revived, and that comprises Washington State and Oregon State, as Debbie mentioned in the back. And we also have, she's not here today, but we also had another leader that kind of came out of our meeting from last year's conference, Donna, and she helped to co-support the group in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, so the Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia group. And so these sessions really are helpful, and they really do encourage you all to kind of get motivated and start building your community for your support group and for your myositis members in your area. Some of the accomplishments that I want to go over, we have more than 40 groups right now, and we're meeting close to 100, we're having close to 100 meetings a year. So that's almost 8 meetings, that's a little bit more than 8 meetings a month. So the KIT community and the support group community really is growing and expanding and making a difference and providing the support that we think our members need in order to stay connected, stay up to date with what's going on in the myositis world, as well as offering that space to share and provide information and meet each other and talk about your experiences in a safe and welcoming arena. In addition to the U.S. support groups, we also have the Canadian support community that we are establishing. We had a member attend the session last year from Alberta, Canada, and Calgary, and she has been working hard with some members that she's located in her area to start a support group in Canada on the West Coast, as well as some membership that we've also met on the East Coast in Ontario. They're also starting a Canadian KIT as well. So the support community really is expanding, and we really want to make sure that we have this offered to everyone in every place. For those that aren't near a support group, I know it can be a challenge, and we do encourage members who are interested in joining the support community to help us help you to lead support groups and start those groups so that we can offer all of our resources to the support community in every area that is required. But we know that we can't do that just yet, and that everyone's not ready to lead a group just now. So we have some offerings that we provide for those that aren't able to travel to support groups, or for those that aren't close enough to one to drive to or within reasonable accommodations. So for that, we have our online community, which is a forum, and that houses different discussion boards. So we have one for each disease type, as well as some new pages that were added for clinical trials. We have a page added for veterans, a page added for caregivers, and most recently a page added for the Canadian membership. And so even if you are in a support group, that's just an additional space that we encourage our members to go to so that they can stay connected and stay in touch with other Myositis members, ask questions, have questions answered. I know several of you in this room are very active on the community forum and the discussion boards. And so that's one thing that we're still working on building, and we are very proud of offering to our members that are in groups as well as those that aren't in active groups. In addition to that, we also have our virtual kit, which is something that we started newly this spring. We kind of did a pilot program and we tested it out where we held conference calls by disease type. And that was offered to patients who don't have a support group they can actually attend physically. And so that was in March, April, and May. We offered those calls once a month. Sometimes we did 2 if there was a lot of members that were interested in attending and meeting other patients. And there were several members that stated that they had never spoken or met anyone that had myositis. And so with that program, we think that it was successful, and we want to continue to offer that. And we'll be having another round of those conference calls, those disease type conference calls, in October, November, and December. And some of the improvements that we hope to include will be hopefully having a facilitator, as well as getting some ideas for discussions in advance to kind of guide the conversation more and make it flow more naturally while we're on the call. And so those calls will be open to those, like I said, that don't have support communities, up to 30 members. The best area is about 10 to 15 members on a call. We don't want it to be overwhelming, but those really are a resource for those that want to just stay in touch and be able to talk to other myositis members when they don't have the opportunity to in their community. So in addition to that, we also have our social media pages. A lot of our kids have their own Facebook pages, and they're active on their own websites, and they have things that they offer their membership, but TMA also has a Facebook page and a Twitter page, and we try hard to make sure that we are putting out information that's of the most interest and has the most, I guess, resources and everything that you're looking for as a myositis patient, including research, sometimes something lighthearted to keep it, upbeat, as well as advancements. And we encourage our groups to have their own pages so that their members can correspond as it relates to more specific things about meeting times and meeting deadlines and changes of that nature. But we do have that, and we encourage our members to join social media, to be, computer savvy and literate. And I know that Bill offers a session on computers and on getting around the web. And so hopefully everyone has a chance to visit his session so that you can figure out ways to stay connected to TMA and to the myositis community online. In addition to that, we do hope that some of the people here who are interested in joining kits and starting kits are encouraged to join a kit or start a kit. We do want to expand. I know some of you said that you don't have support groups in your area, and so we do have some resources for you that we hope will encourage you to start that up. But I hope that no one is, scared or afraid, because we do plan to offer a mentorship program. I'll be passing the sheet around a little bit later during the session. I know it took us a while to get this off the ground, but we will just have a sign up. So if anyone is interested in becoming a mentor, if you want a mentor, we're gonna work with you a little bit later. But if anyone is interested in becoming a mentor, I will have a sign up sheet, and that way we'll just have the names listed for those who are interested in becoming a leader. If you want to talk to another kit leader and get some ideas, find out how they do it, find out what they do that helps them run their group successfully, we'll just have a list of people that you could contact, and that'll make it easier than what we planned before, which was kind of pairing people up. So that will be available following the conference once we have a solid list of who we plan to reach out to and who wants to be a part of that program and offer their support group experiences with new and upcoming leaders. So, speaking of joining groups and starting groups, I did want to touch a little bit on Myositis Awareness, which is September 21st. Some of you who are leaders in the room have already received boxes in the mail we are doing a major campaign this year for myositis awareness, where we sent out boxes of materials and items promoting myositis awareness to our KIT leaders in hopes that they will host a special event or a meeting or something to involve their community so that they can reach out and spread awareness about the disease. So those boxes, for those of you who didn't receive one or just would like to know what's in it, will include some magnets, will include wristbands, wind pins, which Marianne will discuss shortly, as well as a special newsletter that we issued called The Advocate. It has more ideas and more information about starting support groups. I actually have it here, so I'll show it to you. So this was also included, several copies to go out to members and to the community to let them know about myositis awareness and how to be involved and how to spread, how to get exposure on the disease so that we can have the general public, as well as the, most importantly, the medical community, more aware of the disease, about how to treat myositis and how to support our people. Some of the myositis awareness efforts that have taken place in the past have included, I know the Bulgers have a picnic in the park that they do around September 20th and 21st that they've done last year. I know other groups have held fundraisers, walks, but it doesn't even have to be a huge event. The key to myositis awareness is really just awareness and making sure that we get our communities involved and that we let everyone know about myositis, what it is, and the importance of supporting our community and what we need for everyone to work together. So some other groups I know that have done things. I know that the New York City group is trying to expand, and that's also a form of myositis awareness, just making sure that we have the space everywhere in different areas for those who can't get to it. We know some people bring the group to them. I know in New Mexico and Texas, you know, there's one group, but the leader moves around so that he can help other members in different areas. And that's the type of thing that we like to see, that we hope that members are encouraged to do, is to be more active and to bring others into the myositis support groups to keep everyone involved and everyone connected about the disease. So I think that we're going to take a moment, and one way to do myositis awareness on an individual level, Marianne will explain about something new that we're doing this month for September to help spread myositis awareness, as well as raise some funds, and how to talk to people, the general public, about the disease. You can do text or donate.
Good morning again. I have two things that I'll be talking to you about, but the first one is one of the things that you got in your box if you received it. How many of you have received your box of materials? Okay, have you opened it? Okay, so you know that there's some stuff in there that you can figure out pretty easily, and then there are other things that you go, what is that? Well, one of the things is a box of win pins, and the win pins are a little magnetic pin that attaches to your clothing and that has a little electronic counter on it. And you can use it any way you want. These things were originally invented by a family member of one of our KIT members who said, excuse me, this is for people who want to track how many days without a cigarette, how many sales they made in their office, whatever, track anything. But what we used it for was myositis awareness. And so this pin has two little buttons on it. And when you push the top button, the electronic counter goes up one. So when you get the pin in the box, it's at 0. And as soon as you press that first top button, it goes to 1, and then 2, and 3, and 4. If you press the bottom button, it goes down. Oops, I pressed too many top buttons. What we're using this for is during the month of September, our KIT, everyone is wearing these pins pretty much everywhere they go. So you go to church, go out to dinner with friends, go to a meeting, go shopping, and you wear this pin, and you got to admit, you got to look at this and go, what is that? So most of us who have myositis have experienced where people don't want to ask you why you're in a wheelchair, don't want to ask why your husband couldn't make it to church this week, don't want to ask about the disease, but they're going to ask you about this pin. And it's a perfect opportunity for you to raise myositis awareness. You don't have to give them a 10-minute dissertation. We suggest a little, what they used to call an elevator speech, where all you do is say, yeah, I'm using this pin to track how many people I can talk to raise awareness about myositis. I have the disease, or my spouse has the disease, and it's a muscle disease that can't be cured, but the Myositis Association is working to help support people like me, and so I just wanted you to know about it. Click. There's a little old lady in our kit. I mean, she's like 90 years old, and she goes to church, and she goes up to the men and says, "You can push my button." Whatever works. We're raising myositis awareness. So when you get that box open, the next time you have a kit meeting, give out one of those pins to everybody, not just the myositis patients, but to their spouses and friends and family. If somebody wants 3, you may have enough in that box for that. But the idea is, let's raise awareness about myositis. And WinPin is one way to do it. People are curious. Thank you. You're on. Tag team. Or do you want me to?
Well, right now we're going to do some demonstrations on the computer. We're going to actually take questions. If anyone has any questions about anything, we're going to kind of squeeze the Q&A in the middle so that we make sure we have enough time to do everything and to answer everyone's questions. And if anyone has any questions about anything as far as being a leader, where to find certain things on the site, and how to be the most effective and efficient person as it relates to the TMA site, for general information as well as resources required to run a group. That's what we're going to do now. And so,
if anybody was here last year, they saw me mess up trying to log in. Let's do better.
Does anyone have any questions? Sure, Kitty.
We only got, I think, 15 of those WinPins.
15.
And, you know, I didn't think a lot of our members would be interested. And people said, "Oh, send me 2, send me 3." And pretty soon we were down to, I think, almost the supply. I gave some to Rich, and I don't know how many he has. But we're going to run out really quickly.
We need more WinPins. How can we get more?
I will take a note to get more WinPins for you and see how many we have. I know we have some here at the conference that we're giving out to everyone that's attended, but Marianne is running the whole WinPin show, and so we can speak with you after the session and figure out how many more you need and how we can get them to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, pass it here, and then we'll, Bill, and then we'll pass it to you.
Just a suggestion, the WinPins are fine. I mean, there's been a lot of things like that are used in, for salespeople. But the first thing is you got to have your elevator speech and know what you're going to say it succinctly. I talked to 2 people on the airplane out here. I don't need a WinPin because I'm always talking to people about it and telling, my story and afflictions, and they always look at me and say, "What?" Some of you may know me, some of you don't, but I went from being totally gone, totally disabled, with very limited prospects to leading an active life again, over the course of several years. And you tell people that, they look at me and they say, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with you. What are you talking about?" I tell them the story and their jaws drop. So, but anyway, back to the simple advice, because I've trained a lot of people in other parts of my earlier life. You got to have that, know what you're going to say, have it very concise and impactful, because you can have the WinPin, but if you sit there and fumble through it, they're not going to know what to.
And just to let you know, there is a piece of paper in that box, or there's supposed to be, that has the elevator speech. It's like a wallet card size that has about 6 or 8 bullet points, just what I said. I have myositis, or my spouse has it. It's a muscle disease, da-da-da-da-da. So it's the 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 points that you want to make. But thanks, Bill. Thanks for that reminder.
Bill, in sales, we call it an IBM. It's called initial benefit statement. It's in sales, that's what we say. And the other fact, and I'll piggyback you with the other point before I make the other point, they're not going to know what you said to the other people, so you can use the same statement to everybody. You don't have to come up with a new statement every time because that person's going to tell the other person you talk to. Use the same one. If it works, just keep using it. My question is this. We're in upstate New York and Albany. One of the things that I'm finding is within the myositis organization, the communication is very good. The social media is really helping. But I'm also looking for ways to find other people who are suffering from myositis. to get them involved. And one of the things I'm looking for is to say, okay, how do we go out to the general public to let other people know who have been told they have myositis, how to find them people?
Oh, well, I can answer the question. For one, if you contact me, I can tell you who we have in our database that are members that are in your area. So if you tell me what city or state or what cities around your area you want to reach out to, I can let you know how many people are in our membership that you may be able to contact. Because as a support group member, we all have that capacity. We all have the ability to go on our website and see other members in the area. And then if there isn't a lot of members, one way that I know some groups reach out to other patients is to go through their doctors. If you have a rheumatologist, if you have a neurologist, if you're seeing any type of specialist for your myositis, ask the doctor or the receptionist if you could put some information in the waiting room. We have brochures, we have pamphlets, and if you put, I know another group puts a label that has kind of a return address or a contact, for more information about this support group or about this support community, contact me. And that's one way that I know some groups are reaching out to other myositis patients that may not even know about TMA or may not even know about what we do or all that's offered for them. But that's just a couple of ways that I know you could do it.
Yeah, the problem with that is that my rheumatologist has only treated me and one other person in his entire career as a rheumatologist. So we have not come in contact in the 8 years that I've had it with anyone else other than here at TMA that has myositis. So what we're trying to say is, how do you reach out and find those people, somewhere close to your area? I just, and I have gone on the site before it was changed, and there was no one in our close vicinity.
We can talk after the session because there are ways that I can see who we have in the area that has myositis, and I can let you know how many people are in your area after this.
And we are going to get to that later in this session.
We will, yes.
Because it's in the guide.
We do have a Twitter. It's the Myositis. It's the Myositis Association. So it's ASSOC. Okay. ASSOC.
Charlia, I wanted to speak about finding the people. We have our members, we create little kits that they can take into their rheumatologist, neurologist. We created those business cards for people to connect with us. The problem is that the doctors can only give out our information. We can't follow back up with the doctors for privacy reasons. You're really just shooting arrows out into the dark. But another thing that we're trying to do is, beyond the specialists, get the members to take it into their primary care physicians, because they're the ones who don't know anything about our disease and are sending people on kind of a wild goose chase. So I think that next level of doctors is kind of important to hit.
Okay, we're going to do Carolyn, and then we're going to take it to the other side, and we'll go from the back to the front. So 1, 2, 3.
A way that we have picked up new members, the Wichita Eagle, the big paper, every week they will put in for free meetings that are going to happen that week. And then we have I don't know who publishes it, but it's phenomenal. It's a senior magazine, kind of like a newspaper thing that comes out maybe every other month. And same thing, you can they have a whole area that says specialty, like if you have polio, post-polio syndrome, whatever, and we've got in there, and we've found new members because that's where they picked up. They didn't even know there was such a thing. But it's free advertising for you, and it works pretty good for us.
So we're going to pass it to the back. I'll take it over there.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
one thing
after that, after you, right there.
One thing you can do, this goes back, 20 years. When my husband was diagnosed, the doctor said, sorry, I can't give you any kind of really good news in terms of what kind of a drug I can give you or what kind of treatment or anything else. But she sat here and she opened her desk drawer and she pulled out this little folder and she said, this woman probably knows more than all the doctors in the United States. And she has asked me to tell anybody she'd be happy to talk to them. and that woman was Betty Curry. And that's how we got involved, and that's what we have continued to do with doctors over the years, primary doctor, everything else. We've said they can't give a new patient any information about, they're very careful about associations. They're extremely careful about giving out another patient's name. So you need to make sure to say, if you have anybody that also is a patient of yours or that you recently diagnosed, please feel free to give our phone number, our email address, and say that we would be a really good contact. The KIT leader in Central Ohio now came to us, said they hadn't been able to find anybody with myositis, this gentleman, and a friend of his went to another person's house and saw this little award and said, "What's that for?" And she said, "Oh, I was just in a fundraising race over in Indiana for myositis." And this person said, "Oh my God, my friend has just gotten diagnosed with myositis. I never heard of it before." And so they called us to say, would we be willing to talk to this gentleman? I urged him to come to the next convention. He's now a KIT leader. So, but you have to say to everybody you meet, I'm willing to talk to anybody, stranger, if you know anything. But do remember, it's a rare disease. I mean, we see all of us here, and we're so pleased to see this many, but it's a rare disease. So the general public isn't aware of it.
Hi, I spoke with you, and you helped me get connected with someone else who has a myositis, dermatomyositis, or ADM for short. So we found out we had the same doctor. He's one of the world specialists on ADM at Stanford University. We want to start a support group. So that's my question. I'd like to tee up who to talk to do that. But we asked him if he can hand out a flyer for our new support group that will have a first meeting in December this year. And he said, yes, I'll hand that out to my patients. So on that flyer, we have a contact person who agreed to communicate about the first meeting. My question is who to talk to start an ADM specific support group in the San Francisco Bay Area. Who do I talk to here?
Me. Okay. So we can talk about that after this session.
Yeah, and we have flyers here to post somewhere too for those interested.
Okay, that's excellent. That's great. We can, right here in the block, she had a question, and then we'll take it back to this side. Quality.
This is really along what people are saying, and that's really also the medical community, the internists and other doctors people go to, because, I mean, it is true that this is a rare disease, but sometimes I think there's more people who are dealing with it but are misdiagnosed or aren't diagnosed, as well as social workers and mental health workers. I mean, I'm a colleague, a psychiatrist colleague who knew my husband had the disease. He saw someone who was diagnosed and called me and said, I want to find out information about the support group in New York. So it's really getting into that community.
Right here in front of you.
Did you say that we asked for comments on the website, what we thought might be a suggestion?
Yes.
You know, I hear going through different forums, et cetera, finding success stories where people have did different things to improve their situation. I would suggest that you have somewhere with a title that just concentrates on the people who had successes. And in other words, so that we have an idea of what's going on as far as people, how they've been successful in treating their disease. And I think that would be a good thing. And I'm going to have another question, but I can't remember it. Oh, I'll come back to you later.
Okay, no problem.
We're actually working on something like that.
We are working on several projects to highlight success stories and experiences with myositis.
I have a quick question for anyone here who might have a recommendation. I find it very easy to talk about the disease, but I have my elevator speech and everything else. The issue to me is... How about, okay, thank you. My issue is the opener. I have little children who look at me with my cane or when I'm in my wheelchair and they're frightened. I have other people being incredibly embarrassed and, excuse me, want to move away from me as quickly as possible. Does anyone, maybe it's a joke and I haven't thought up a good joke. Anyone who has a recommendation for the opener so that I can say, yeah, it's myositis, it's a pain in the butt disease and blah, blah, blah.
Well, on the airplane in the airport wearing the wristband, everybody wanted to know about the disease or what is all that. Unfortunately, I'm wearing the dermamyositis, which is not my condition, but I'm wearing it for Tommy, who they sponsored me to come, so I am promoting him. But the wristband is very, very important to wear. It might not look fancy or what, but people ask you with the wristband. Well, Team Tommy gave me this, but I have a polymyositis wristband that I normally wear. But a lot of people ask about this, and then you're able to tell them what the disease is about.
We do have wristbands for everyone. They're going to be at the registration table, as well as for those who are kit leaders. We have sent out boxes, and there'll be wristbands included in those to pass out to the members in your support groups. Okay. After John, we're going to bring it back on this side.
I know this sounds a little frivolous, but maybe what myositis needs is something like the Ice Bucket Challenge, and maybe we could start with Bob Goldberg. But seriously, this is the kind of thing that maybe myositis needs. I mean, just think of what that Ice Bucket Challenge did for ALS. And ALS is every bit as rare as myositis. And now it is known throughout the entire country. And I don't know, how many millions of dollars did they raise through the Ice Bucket Challenge?
More
I think maybe we ought to think about what kind of things might be done on the networking sites that could really bring about awareness of myositis.
Right here, some Malati. Oh.
So on the website, okay, on the website where you say find support, when I initially went to it, you know, you gave a definition, etc. What I find as a new person coming on board would be really helpful to me is if you have like a map in the spots where you have the kit things, and then you can click on it and put a zip code in, and they give you the nearest one or something like that. Because it took me a while to figure out who the person was in my area. And then when I found out, and she said Duluth, Georgia, I'm like, where the heck is that? So I looked it up, and then I saw it was on the other side of Atlanta. And so it wasn't as close. Jacksonville is closer than that is to me. And so, but clicking on the map, something like that would help too, just as a suggestion. And then are some of the things that are in the kit group going to be available this weekend, or you have to write you to do whatever to get it?
We
just point out to Rob about did you go to this place on the website?
No, I went to
just out of curiosity, what's your zip code where you live? 31324. So this tells you where most local kits are to you.
So that's on the homepage of the site. If you're looking for a support group in your area, the first place to go is always to the website and type in your zip code. And then when you hit search, it'll pull up the closest groups to you within 250 miles.
Which of those would be closest to you? You're in Florida, Jacksonville? Yeah, Jacksonville is that. Okay, so Florida, Northeast. Okay, but they all have a similar greeting. And then it tells you a contact person.
Can you go back to
If you're not able to find a group based on the zip code finder, that's when you, as you did, contact TMA, and then I will let you know what resources are available, what's closest to you, and I can see what other members we have in the area that just may not be a part of a group, or there may not be a group that's close by. But as long as people are interested in the support community, even if there isn't a group, there's somewhere on the website where it says that you've allowed us to share your information with other members that are interested in finding each other. And so we can do that when you get back, or we can do that later during the conference. But just as you contacted me, that's what you would do if there isn't a group. Because sometimes they'll say no records found, and then that's when you would just contact the 800, not call the 800 number and contact me, and I'll help you find someone in your area, or put you in contact with the community forum or an online resource for you.
Does it say that if it comes up with nothing?
It says no records found.
No, does it say contact Charlia? Because she can help you.
Well, it's in the summary on the top of the page. It's in the summary that has the information, just the general support information. It's up there. It doesn't have my name. It just says contact TMA.
Right, but with a phone number, so that they can actually not.
I don't believe there's a phone number in there. Okay, where is the mic? We're right here, and we'll come back up to the front.
I have a global question. It sounds like, and I may be wrong, but it sounds like folks are developing support groups for their one particular type of diagnosis, like IBM or DM? Okay, that is not the majority. Good, because I have one of the rarest of the rare. Like there's not been any research since the 70s on my myositis, and so there would be nobody just idiopathic granulomatous myositis distal presentation. That's a rare one. Yeah.
You know it's rare when you say that in a Myositis Association. We don't.
And nobody knows what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
The idea is to have a myositis support group, and sometimes two people that have the same form of the disease may get together and start a group, such as our friend in the back. And our hope is that that can expand to be a myositis support group. And once a group is large, or once a group has the membership, that's when they would start to have the breakout sessions, with the subgroups within the group, not subgroups, but just sub-sessions within the meeting and within the event, where the specific disease types can get together and share their experiences with not just myositis as a whole, but with DM or with PM or with IBM, or as caregivers to offer that space to have more specific questions and more specific experiences shared with one another. So it can be the idea to start off, but we do want most groups to be able to serve the entire myositis population, including all forms. Okay. I know there was 2, 3 in the front, so we're on this side. We're on this side right now, and then we'll go back to the other side. And we're gonna stop the questions in about 10 minutes. So we're gonna start wrapping that up, but this side, and we'll go back to that side.
Bill Esther from Wichita, Kansas, and we had a pleasant surprise in a small community north of Wichita in Newton, in the hospital. A young physician who was a hospitalist at that point in Carolyn's mother's room asked about Carolyn, and Carolyn told him that she had myositis, and she asked him if he knew what it was. Oh, yes, I do. This is a young physician, just came out of KU med school and practicing now as in the hospital in Newton. So the word is beginning to get around to some physicians.
If the kids doctor.
Back to the physician's questions. When are the physician packages being sent out?
Those have been sent out already. Those were sent out just before the kit leader packages went out.
Okay, thanks.
Going back to that, just getting the general word out to the general public. All of the newspapers that I've spoken with have a person who relates as the health editor, and most of them have a weekly health section. Now, because newspapers are in such trouble, many of those people are wearing several hats for that newspaper. But the young man at the Dallas Morning News has begun to hear me. For a while, he wouldn't answer my emails. Carol mentions the Wichita Eagle. Even smaller regional newspapers, which have such a wide coverage, are willing to do that. What I found, if you will write that up, the information, so that they don't have to do much work, but print it. But with Myositis Awareness Day coming up on the 21st of this month, it's a good time to And don't just contact them once. Be tenacious.
So in the corner, Debbie. And that's true. With myositis awareness coming up, this is an opportunity to have those kind of human interest feature pieces done in your community papers or in papers that are interested in seeing what's going on in their community and with their different residents in areas. And I know some of our patients have shared with us, or we've been able to find different feature stories that were done on myositis patients. We found them online. Some of them send them to us, and that's a great way to get some exposure to the disease, to share your own personal story.
Is there a sample in those boxes?
There isn't. I can send it to you. There was a feature done on our kit leader in North Carolina out of Charlotte, and we actually found that. She didn't send it to us. We just found it. But I can send that to anyone who's interested in reading it.
To use it actually like a template that we then put like...
Sure, of course.
So it is, okay.
Debbie?
Is it possible to get the names of the physicians that received packets? We had decided to try and blanket the medical community, but we don't really know who has one, who needs one. Is that feasible?
Well, the physicians packages went out to more than 2,000 physicians. However, if you're talking about your Oregon area, I can certainly pull that list for you and show you which doctors are in Oregon and which ones from our database were sent packages. So we can do that.
That would be great.
No problem. So were there any more questions or any more suggestions, anything else anyone that wanted to discuss during this time before we move forward? Okay, I'll take the last three. So while we're on this side, we'll go back to you. I know you had a question, and then we'll do Bill, and then we'll go right there.
I've looked on the Myositis website, and it seems to me that maybe I'm missing it, but the number of people that have myositis, they don't seem to put a number on it. In other words, we all heard guesses. I've heard guesses of 5,000 in the United States. I've heard 10,000. Is there a number, and also how many people have different types? I think somewhere on the web page could have a statistical page telling an estimate to how many people that have IBM and how many people have all the other forms of myositis, and the total number of people that have myositis. I mean, this is where we should find that information. I don't seem to see it in there.
In the Myositis 101, we do include information about how many people approximately have myositis. I don't know off the top of my head how many have each form. I do know that there's between 50 and 75,000 people in the U.S. that have myositis. And so that's kind of the estimate that we use and that we share, and I believe that is included in the Myositis 101. 50 to 75,000 total myositis patients. Yes, for all the forms in the U.S.
I actually know that.
Okay.
Dr. Levine. Can everybody hear me if I just talk up? Yeah. Dr. Levine came to our Colorado Kid group last month, and in his presentation, out of all of the myositis, 36% have dermatomyositis, 5 to 2% have polymyositis, 3% have IBM, that's exclusively IBM, 19% have necrotizing myositis, and 29% have a non-specific with overlapping diseases. So it's hard to know exactly. I would say in our group, that's the bulk of the people.
Yeah. I can say, having studied this myself for the last 10 years, there's no really hard figures. And I would dispute Dr. Levine's. I've personally seen figures that show IBM is a much larger percentage and rapidly growing. But I don't think there's hard figures, and you have to realize that because there's all these subsets of the disease, they get coded differently. It's very hard to pull together that an organization like NIH, it's difficult for them to pull together exact figures, but probably the figures that Charlia gave are a good indication of the total community. But IBM, I believe from everything I've read everywhere, is the fastest growing. And we see it in our group. We have over 100 people that are on our list, and probably close to half have some form of IBM. PM the least, and then DM is the second most popular disease. Just a quick comment on talking to the media. In the Chicago area, it's very difficult to get the major newspapers even remotely interested in myositis. As I was quoted by one reporter, "Oh hell, that's just another rare disease story. We don't care about that." And they're literally that cynical about it. Some of the smaller newspapers are more, the regional ones are more interested, you know, in reporting community things, so focusing there is good. If you do have a reporter contact or an editor on a larger newspaper, fine, but I know in Chicago, with 10 million people in the total area, it's really hard to get the media interested. We had a gentleman who did get a lot of media attention, but it was all focused on a sports angle. And he didn't do one thing to spread the word for the Myas TMA or the local support group or anything else, and that was an opportunity lost. And I contacted the editor and the reporter, and they just didn't care. They wanted it on a sports angle, that was their big deal, and that was it. That was the end of the story. So it's very frustrating.
There was Shauna, and I know there was one last question there.
The thing that I get the most questions about is wearing my Med Alert necklace. And I have enough information. I have 2 hearts and a medical sign. And I get questions all the time. What is that? At the grocery store, I can push the cart. I do not look disabled, but I need their help putting stuff on the cart, onto the trolley, and then taking it out to the car. And I say, I have a muscle disease. No questions asked. Then they want to know more about it. I don't use the word myositis or dermatomyositis, so they can remember it. But once they ask, then I expand it. But I have muscle disease, and I get all the help because I don't look like I need it. So for me, it's the necklace. Anyone on steroids more than 12 weeks is steroid dependent and needs to have some way. If you get hit in the head in a car accident, the ER physicians to know that you're steroid dependent will make a huge difference in your care.
Okay, so we're gonna do right here, and we'll make sure the Maltese the last question or comment. Oh, right here. Let me see. Okay. Oh, did you have, no?
Only, I just wanted to, you know, in terms of statistics, I think when we talk and say how many people have IBM or whatever, it's probably more accurate to say how many have been diagnosed with, because I think there's people that are given other diagnoses or...
Okay, will be the last comment.
Thank you.
So we can move forward and wrap up the session.
As we have been speaking, I have been tweeting, and already just in my 5 tweet accounts, I've gotten 5 retweets and 5 likes. So immediately on social media, we can get the word out. If you have a Facebook account, if you have a Google Plus account, if you have a Twitter account, if you have LinkedIn accounts, you put something out there like hashtag myositis, you're going to get folks interested. And so I'm kind of a techie queen, and anybody who wants to know how to do that, find me during the next couple days, because just like that, while we've been talking, more people know.
I'm impressed.
So I'm glad that everyone was able to ask questions and share their comments. I really wanted this to be an interactive session. I do have a couple more things I want to go over before we wrap up in the next 10 minutes so that you all can head over to registration. So a lot of different topics came up as far as starting a group, getting involved, spreading awareness, involving the public, the media, your doctors, all of those important topics that I think are essential to creating an active and effective support community for our myositis patients. So, what's next? What do you do when you have your questions answered and you've taken your notes? What do you take back home with you, and how do you remember this session, and how do you remember what steps are actually required to put into action all these things that we've discussed today? I have the answer. TMA has created a support group leader manual that has important information about starting a support group, running a support group, what to take back to your membership, and how to get your group revived. If it's been a little stagnant, if it hasn't been running, if you haven't had, the increase in membership that you were looking for over the years, we do have a resource that we've put together to provide for you and your members. So I brought 25. There's going to be one per group or couple. I have extras in the office, and this includes some stories, some case studies, some inspirational information about leadership in general, and just the kind of hands-on guide to help you recharge your group. That's really what we wanted to do, is get groups started, but for the groups that already exist, we wanted to recharge you. And the manual also includes a disc that has 2 short videos on it to help, and so I'm going to pass these out while I kind of talk about a couple of things as we wrap up this session. And also know that if you are a support group leader and you received your box, that we do have the Advocate, which has a lot of the information that we went over today about talking to the media, templates for things to say, and how to get involved. But we don't have that here. We have these, and I'm gonna go ahead and start passing these out. And so something I wanted to do, you can ask for them at the computer if you wanna help me with this. Yeah. Yes, if you wanna help me with this, or anyone. There were 3 things that I wanted to do, that I wanted to discuss with everyone. I wanted to first congratulate all of you for attending the session, and for taking the interest in the support group community, and for taking the interest in leading other members and being a resource for them. I wanted to let you know that the groups that we have, the events that we've planned, the fundraisers that have been held, that's exactly what we're looking for, and that I personally am so proud of everyone for all that you do to support Myositis, to support TMA, and to help us create this community for everyone. Secondly, I wanted to encourage everyone to take it a step further if you can, to work to increase your membership, to work to stay connected, to work to find out more about the disease and find out those things that you can take back to your membership, that you can share with others, and to find new and creative ways, with my help of course, but to find ways that you can expand. That's what we really want to see, is that every myositis patient, or every person that has an interest or wants to have the support available has it, that it's accessible, and that the groups and the online communities and the conversations being held about the disease and about support are helpful, and that they're there for everyone that wants them. And thirdly, I wanted to challenge all of you. I want to challenge you in the room who aren't leaders to become leaders, to support your leader. Just simple things as far as making sure that if you know someone hasn't been doing well, just checking on them, seeing how they've been feeling. Putting together a group effort to host a special meeting for Myositis Awareness Day, or just to stay as involved as you can, and to do those small things that create the biggest impact for everyone. That's really what our support groups are about. That's really what our kits are about, keeping in touch and just offering that space, as Marianne puts it, sharing and caring. That's what I want to see everyone do. And if anyone has any specific questions about different ways they can get involved or how to take their kit to the next level, first you can look in your leadership manual, but if you have additional questions, I'm always available at TMA. I'll be at the conference each day. We will be having a follow-up session on Saturday at 5:30. That'll be in Tuscany Ballroom 1. And if you take some time and get those questions together, we can have an additional kind of space to explore the website more if you have specific questions, but just to kind of brainstorm ideas that will expand your kit and help everyone move forward, upward and onward. So I think that all the manuals are out. I don't know if anyone else has any final kind of questions, but I'll let Marianne, if you want to say anything.
Yeah, I would just add one mention. I don't know about you, but there have been times in my life when someone handed me a manual and I put it in my bag, I took it home, and I put it on a shelf. Please look at the table of contents of this and see the wealth of information that Charlia has put together here. For example, a number of people have said, I don't know how to get the word out, and so we've had people say that they go to the newspapers and things like that. Well, that works if you've got that contact with the newspapers and the confidence. But for instance, page 15 of this manual has a list that actually has been on the website for some time. But this list says things like, put up a poster in the local senior citizen center, or you know, how to get the word out in your community. So there are some very specific tips in there on that page alone, plus there are a myriad of other pages that actually can help you out and can answer some of the questions that you may not have had answered today or that'll come up for you next week. Please take time to look at this manual.
I do want to put out the mentor sign-up sheet, so if anyone's interested in being a mentor, you can sign up and we'll get that started so that those people who want help with their group or want to start a new group have a list of people they can contact for specific advice or for specific questions regarding leading a group. Okay, sure.
Just wondering with the data question, because I did talk to a communications person just before coming here, and that was the first question about the numbers. Is that something our medical, if we question Dr. Levine's numbers, so I don't want to use those if somebody's questioning it, but is that something our medical advisory board?
That is the medical advisory board member who shared that, yes.
Oh, right, but can we ask at this meeting if they could?
At the conference, if you want to ask someone specifically, you can do that. So that concludes this session. I'm so glad that everyone came out. You can clap if you want. And I hope that all of your questions were answered and that everyone got a chance to say what they wanted to say and share any information or advice that they wanted to share, any comments, anything like that. Like I said, we will be having another session half this time. It'll be brief and it'll be on Saturday for anything follow-up. And I will be